Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Zaksh and I want to thank Mr. Shmuel Yunger for this wonderful opportunity to share some of my personal insights on this week's Seder. I also want to use this platform and send strength to the medical teams all around the world who are working effortlessly in these crazy times, and send blessings of refuah shlema, fast recovery, to all those who are in need for such blessing today. Parashat Va'YIgash is the 11th parasha in the book of Genesis, and it's ending the story of Joseph and his brothers. To recap, Joseph is Jacob's little kid who has dreams about the star, the moon, and ruling the universe, revealing those dreams to his brother and father, and the brothers hate him for those dreams and plotting to kill him. This week's parasha is divided into three main sections. The first part is the conversation of Judah and Joseph. The second part is Joseph revealing himself to his brothers and saying, I am Joseph, I'm still alive. And the third part, the final part of this parasha, is the brothers going back to Canaan and telling Jacob that Joseph is still alive and bringing everyone, all Bnei Israel, down to Egypt, to Joseph. The book of Genesis deals with the creation of the universe, the beginning of mankind, and the early stories of the Jewish people, Bnei Israel, Am Israel. It seems that there's a narrative throughout the book of Genesis, and it's not really a positive one. It's a negative narrative, and it talks about the hate, the fundamental hate between brothers. It starts already with the story of the first brothers, where one brother is killing another brother for jealousy, Cain and Hevel. It continues to the next generation, where one brother is being cursed while other two brothers are being blessed, the sons of Noah. Abraham and Lot cannot sit in the same location, and Yitzchak and Ishmael are not the best brothers ever. They only come together when their father passes away and they have to bury him. In the sons of Yitzchak, Yaakov and Esav, there's fundamental hate over there, and Esav is plotting to kill Yaakov for stealing his blessing, and Yaakov has to flee away to his uncle, far, far away, to save his life. In the ending of the book of Genesis, our parashot, it's the story of Joseph and his brothers. The brothers hate Joseph so much that they're plotting to kill him. They throw him down the pit hole and then eventually sell him as a slave to the Egyptians. What are we supposed to learn from all this fundamental hate? What is Moshe trying to explain to us as future generations about mankind and the early stages of our people, Bnei Israel? How are we as parents can share this legacy, these amazing stories, the history of our people with our children? How can we make sense into all this fundamental hate between brothers and sisters? And of course, we see it today, right? Brothers and sisters are running around the house screaming, I hate you, I wish you were, we see it today, this fundamental hate. And I think in this week's parasha, in this Parashat Va'YIgash, we see the beginning of something very interesting to answer some of these complex questions that we just brought up. So you remember that we said that the parasha is divided into three parts. The first part is a straight continuation from last week's parasha, where Joseph is bullying his brothers, right? Placing a cup into Benjamin's bag, bringing them back, forcing them back to stand in front of him for a trial, right? In the castle in Egypt. This is exactly where the beginning of our parasha begins, and Judah stands up and says, Vigash Yehuda Vayomar. And Joseph and Judah stood up in front of Joseph and said, and he confronts him completely and confesses about all the mistakes that they've done, all the deceiving that they've done throughout the years, all the lying that they lied to their father Jacob. He tells them about how they hated the brother, how they sold him, how they came looking for him, how they told the lies for their father. It's an amazing monologue where one brother is facing another, not knowing that he's Joseph, and confessing deeply, regretting every single thing that he did. Joseph cannot hold himself in front of such an amazing confession. He calls out all the Egyptians around him and he says, go away. And velo amad ish ito beitvada Yosef elechav. And no one stood there when Joseph revealed himself to his brothers. And after this monologue, Joseph cannot hold his tears and says to his brothers, I am Joseph, I am still alive. Let's talk about Judah for a moment. Judah is a very controversial character, a very controversial brother. He's not Yosef HaTzadik, he's not the righteous Joseph, and he's not also the successful brother, that is also Joseph. He's not the leader, he's not the eldest, that is Reuven, he's leading the clan, he's somewhere in the middle. In the last couple of stories of Joseph's kids, there's a scope on Judah himself, and that scope is very controversial. To recap, it talks about the three boys of Judah, talks about how his two eldest die, his daughter-in-law, how she deceives him, right? Disguising herself to be a prostitute. He sleeps with her, she conceives from him, right? And then he wants to burn her, and then she shows him his tefillin. Very controversial. But over there, we learn something about Judah. We learn that Judah says over there, tzadka mimeni. She is right. I am wrong. And he faces already the fact that he was wrong and admits his mistakes. And I think in this week's parasha, we see Judah again. While all the brothers are standing in front of this bully Joseph, who is really bullying them and harshing them, treating them so harsh of what they did for their brothers, Judah stands up and as a controversial character admits that he is wrong. He wasn't right. It's not that everyone was righteous and everyone was wrong and he was the righteous one. No, Judah says, I was there, we were there, we were part, we deceived, we lied to our father. I think that this is the point of this parasha. The continuous of this hate between brothers and sisters is going along generations. It has been there for centuries. It's going to be there for centuries. We are part of it. We hate our brothers and sisters as well. It's hard to admit it, right? But sometimes when we type on Facebook, on social media, sometimes when we speak to other people, we say such things. I wish, I hate him. Yeah, things like that. But I think that just like Judah, we can stand up, confront ourselves and the bully side and say, that's it, enough. Here is where we draw the line. Yes, we are part of this. We are part of this movement of hatred. We are part of this. We understand it. We know it. We have been in there. But from now on, we're stopping it. This is where we draw the line. This is our little brother and sister. He needs us now. This is never going to happen again. Not on our watch. And this is what I would like you to take on this Parashat Shavua. Be like Judah. Stand up against bullies. Be there. Make sure that you stand and you say, not that the other side is wrong and you are so righteous. No. We are wrong. We understand you. We've been there. We are part of this problem. But let's try to solve it. Let's try to make this world a better place for future generations. Let's stop the hate here. Shabbat shalom and thank you very much.